Hello, and let's talk about Jamia Millia Islamia. I'm Pragya. There's news for students and dissenters across the country. Let us begin with taking a look at this video, which recently came to light. You just saw the new CCTV footage, which is apparently from the library of Jamia, which was recorded on the night of 15 December 2019. In it, several policemen can be seen thrashing students. The students are in the library, reading or talking when they seem to hear the police outside the reading room. They appear afraid just before the police in riot gear rush in and start thrashing them individually, very brutally. And also they start trashing the library. From this video, it seems clear that the students were unarmed and that they felt ambushed. Now, the government has repeatedly said that the police entered Jamia to control violent protesters, and the protesters were protesting against the Citizenship Amendment Act, which became law in December 2019. From this video, it's abundantly clear that that was not the case. The police enter the library and chase and attack students and inflict unprovoked violence. We are going to talk with Pranjal from NewsClick about what exactly the significance of this new video is. Welcome, Pranjal. Pranjal, dissenters seem to be really under pressure. What's going to change for the Jamia students after this video?
See, Pragya, before we move further, we need to understand one thing very clearly, that this video has basically falsified the claim that the Delhi police was making that they haven't entered inside the libraries. So it's very clear that they entered inside the library with the sole aim to beat up students, which is what very clear from the way they are dressed up. You can see policemen wearing masks on their face, so we don't know the intentions. Were they trying to hide their faces? Were they planning to throw tear gas shells inside? That we don't know. But one thing is very clear, that they entered inside the campus. Now then, Delhi police also has released videos. One thing, if you notice, that both the sides, without taking any sides, they are releasing parts and bits of the entire footage that is available. Now, if the Delhi police has entire footage available and they think that students were actually armed and they were throwing stones, then why are they not releasing the entire video? That's the first question that should be asked. The second thing is that now we have evidence, the students have evidence in their hands that, okay, the Delhi police has entered. Few court cases have been filed in Delhi High Court.
Right.
Now the ball is in the court of actually Delhi High Court, which is going to take whatever action they want to take on it.
All right. So Pranjal, the thing is that, like, if the police has been sort of not telling the full truth or complete lies right from the very beginning, does that give a shot in the arm to the students as regards their court case?
Definitely. The other point also is that there should be multiple questions that should be asked on behalf of the students. One, who gave them the permission to enter inside the campus and beat the students in the library, demolish library? The cases should not be just that they beat up the students, but if you look in Uttar Pradesh, the police has been seizing properties of different people because they apparently broke public property. Now, what is the
Right.
Delhi police doing here?
Right.
They're also breaking the public property.
Right.
So that question should also be asked. The Home Ministry and the Delhi police in Delhi directly comes under the Home Ministry, which is with Mr. Amit Shah. So one question also arises on that. Yesterday, Amit Shah, while addressing a meeting of the police in Delhi, says that police should maintain calm and refrain in such situations. Is Delhi police actually following it?
It does not.
If you take record in last 2 months, armed, masked people enter inside the JNU campus, nothing happens. Gargi College incident happens, police is not doing anything on that front. They arrested 10 people, next day they got bail. While here, students are reading there quietly and Delhi police enters inside the campus, thrashes up people. Somebody should be held accountable for this.
Right, Pranjal, thanks. Now, NewsClick has accessed this video, but we can obviously not verify its contents or source. It is incumbent on the government and the police to do so. So, another update which we have today from the courts again is the final order on the Shaheen Bagh episode. Now, the court has said that you have the right to protest, but it has also said that there should be no inconvenience. Now, is the court turning the Shaheen Bagh protest into a municipal issue?
Pragya, I would not comment much on what the court has said. I think for me, the important factor here is that court has at least granted that they have right to protest, which the government, if you look at Delhi election and the way BJP was campaigning throughout, it looked like that the government had no respect for the democratic rights of the people of Shaheen Bagh, one, and in general. But the court has also, let's remember, appointed 3 interlocutors to talk to the protesters.
Right.
And the interlocutors that have been appointed, the selection I think is very good. One is Advocate Sanjay Hegde, you have Wazahat Habibullah and S. Ramachandran. So let's hope something comes out of it. But as the court has said, people can sit there. I mean, people have the right to protest. Whether they can sit there or not is a different question.
Now, Shaheen Bagh protesters, as you know, as we all know, do not have a clear leader. Will it be very difficult for them to actually decide? Because if you do not cause some inconvenience, you also don't get noticed. So this is a difficult decision to make.
No, but as far as I remember just one quote which Lohia had said long back, कि अगर सड़कें शांत हो जाएंगी तो संसद आवारा हो जाएगी.
Right.
So if people don't come on streets and don't protest, where are they going to go?
Right.
That's a basic question. And the question should also be asked that there's another patch of the road that has been blocked by police.
Right.
Why are they not opening that patch?
Right.
The police should open that patch. So those questions are already there.
Right.
But definitely, since this entire Shaheen Bagh agitation doesn't have a leadership, it could be a problem in coming to a common consensus, but that has also been the strength of this movement, that they don't have one single leader leading the entire agitation, and that's why it is sustained for so long.
Right. Thank you, Pranjal. Now, the Shaheen Bagh protesters oppose the amended citizenship law, which combined with the NRC and the NPR hold a threat of being discriminatory on religious grounds. The CA itself makes religion for the first time the basis for Indian citizenship. It will also impose hardships when the government and the authorities begin processing data that is meant to identify citizens from non-citizens, which will only be done on the basis of data and documents. Thank you, Pranjal. Let's take a look again at that 2-minute footage. Now, the Supreme Court has cleared an earlier Delhi High Court verdict in favor of women in the Army and Air Force. It has said that exclusion of women from command positions is also illegal, and it has said that equality means opening the doors to permanent commission in the military. The court has said that all terms of appointment of women short service commission officers must be the same as those for men. If they are in permanent commission, only then would they be able to fill command positions. Gautam Navlakha, defense analyst, is going to tell us what the significance of today's verdict is. Welcome, Gautam. Gautam, what does this mean really for women? This court is hearing this from 2010.
Well, it's a small step forward. I say small step deliberately because all it does is makes it possible for short service commission women officers were part of the short service commission to claim retrospectively, be moved, transferred to permanent commission.
Right.
Of course, the 10 branches of army where women have been allowed and would be allowed command positions are all non-combat branches of the army.
Yes.
That has not been touched. And that is the key issue. But nevertheless, it's very important to note that a small step has been taken where the government had not offered retrospectively to several, serving officers the possibility of shifting from SSC to permanent commission. And this is despite the fact that the government of India is on record and publicly to say, and Mr. Narendra Modi's himself, promising that they are all in favor of permanent commission for women. But what is alarming is the kind of language used by government, the Ministry of Defense, and therefore the government of India, in their submission before the court, which was outrageous. I mean, they're talking about that the women are physically weaker sex. They were talking about that most of the soldiers come from rural background and will not, etc. I mean, the kind of patriarchal reasoning that they used in their affidavit before the Supreme Court, I think is that, which is what caused that. But the sum total of the order is that now all short service commission women would be allowed even retrospectively, and not just prospectively from 1st April 2020, but retrospectively, if they serve less than 14 years, they would be allowed to transfer to permanent commission if they seek.
There's an interesting word used, like absolute exclusion is not okay. You know, a layperson would think that other kinds of exclusion are okay, but not absolute. What does this really mean?
No, but that's what I mean. I mean, the combat is the key area. When you talk about military forces, is the combat for which people apply. Now, if you have been barred from combat operations and duties, that itself takes away the biggest chunk
of what being in the army means, or in the Air Force.
Yeah.
All right, Gautam, thank you so much for joining us. That's all we have in today's episode of Let's Talk. We'll be back with more on this issue later. Catch us live Monday to Friday at 3 p.m. Thank you for watching.